I should be starting classes, I think, at the start of September. So in the first week of September, I'll be starting. Yeah, right. So it's a full-time MBA. I believe it's around 3 semesters. So hopefully 15 months I will be officially qualified, or at least have the qualification in the MBA, which would be good. Well, to answer your first question, I feel like I was always aware that my education wasn't going to stop with my undergraduate. I was just sort of trying to figure out when I'd reconvene or, continue the education. But I think it was during my final few months in my undergraduate, when I was applying for jobs both here in Ireland and abroad, that a lot of the time for the jobs, the person specification would list, a master's or sometimes more specifically even an MBA, which halted the job search for me and maybe indicated that the MBA was the time was now for the MBA. It was after that that I kind of discovered that the value of the MBA was unique in the context of Ireland as well, which would sort of give me a competitive edge in the jobs market and help me find my feet in the career I want to, before entering a job that I necessarily wouldn't be in love with. But as well as that, I was always aware that the MBA would kind of give me a broader scope of the different aspects that make up a business or an industry, and as well as that, giving me more specialized training to in business analytics for me anyway, to consult on managerial decisions. But why Fairfield U? I think as soon as I was aware of the sort of value of the MBA as well as the significance, and that sort of propelled me directly to Fairfield U. I actually had a friend that was pursuing the MBA the year ahead of me, and reassured me of the teaching as well as the resources available to you were way above what you'd expect from such a high caliber university. So I consulted with my careers counselor, and he encouraged me to apply, and also made me aware of the scholarship that I was eligible for. So after applying, I was fortunate enough to be accepted into the MBA, and then was awarded the scholarship, which was quite exciting for me. So yeah, it was all those factors together. Well, firstly, yes, of course. I think networking is very important well, I hope it's very important to everyone, but it's very important to me personally as well. I personally love to network organically as much as possible. I love meeting people in classes or events or business meetings, and really being able to establish that common ground where you can essentially establish the connection. But I love to meet new people, and I love to interact face to face. But I'm not sure how viable that will be going forward with the current pandemic. But outside of organically networking, I like to connect with past professors and lecturers, as well as tutors who have made a lasting impression on me. But as well as that, I like to connect with business people who serve as an inspiration to me, in their careers thus far. And hopefully I'll be able to leverage some of those connections going forward in job postings. But as far as any preliminary networking, it's been kind of hard. Just been, obviously I'm quite unaware of like who's in my class or things like that, but I've connected with a lot of the faculty members that I've already been in discussions with. Networking and doing an MBA do come hand in hand in a sense, because an MBA is really sort of propelling your career to that kind of high executive level where you need to be engaging with people on LinkedIn or engaging with people in real life, just to send the feelers out and be consulting with a lot of high level people, and I think it's establishing those kind of social skills both in person and online that will give you that MBA edge that people are looking for. Yeah, there are a few classes that caught my eye, right? But I would probably say that, of course, I mean, the capstone class is always an interesting one, because it sort of requires you to bring together everything you've learned into one project and really kind of reflect the hard work you've put in over the past few years. But if I had to choose one, I would probably say the business forecasting and predictive analytics class, just because it sort of aligns with the career trajectory I want to go on. So very much in business strategy and executive decision making. Coming from a more economics background, I've always been fascinated by game theory and managerial economics, as well as decision making under conditions of uncertainty. So, sourcing data and coding to consult on managerial decisions I think will be something I'll engage quite well with. Well, I have to say anyway, I've never been someone who likes to stay still. I've always been on the go, or always looking for the next opportunity to, advance my career or even advance myself, which is what I've been trying to do during quarantine. But effective time management is probably something someone who's pursuing an MBA should have, already. For me personally, I like to keep a journal of things that are due and sort of like ticking them off as they're done, and that helps me a lot of the time. But I have to say I mostly just keep a mental checklist and just tick it off in my own head. But I mean, it's worked so far quite well, so hopefully it will continue to work in the future. But I'll be sure to take up any hacks that I find online if it starts to bog me down. As far as reading goes, I have yet to find my next book. I've been struggling with finding something that is inspiring me, but I mean, I've been reading a lot of the news lately, of course, trying to stay on top of things, but it can be a small bit depressing if you read too much of it, But as far as watching goes, I've actually just been trying to catch up on a lot of the things that have been nominated for the Emmys just gone. So I just started Succession, which is very, very good. Euphoria, I loved as well. And then as far as podcasts goes, I was meaning to start the Michelle Obama one, but I haven't quite listened to it yet. But there's a fantastic podcast here in Ireland from an Irish economist. He's quite a famous economist who I really admire because he always seems to get things right, which is impressive. And it's called the David Williams Show. Sorry. So an honorable mention for him. And of course, sorry, I must mention as well, Survivor on CBS is the best show on the planet. I'm absolutely addicted to it, and I hopefully someday will be on Survivor. It's a dream. Yeah, I mean, of course, always LinkedIn is probably the best for me. I check it quite regularly, so I would always say LinkedIn is the spot to go to.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you so much. This was a great time.
Thank you so much.